Good morning. I'm Alexandra Adams. Thank you so much for joining us here in the WSMV4 Now studios. I have Ryan Breslin with me. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's talk about the story that you were covering all morning long. We've been talking about this really for months now, the Belle Meade Plaza. I mean, everyone knows it well, especially if you live in the West Nashville area. What's happening tonight? I know we're going to have a Metro Council meeting discussing it further.
Yeah, so this has been a controversial topic that people have been commenting on a lot since we first heard that a developer wants to change this into a mixed-use property and development, basically demolishing what is there right now and putting up multiple different high-rise apartments, a hotel, shopping areas, even a green space as well there. So what is happening right now with this is...
And this is what it looks like now, currently.
Yeah, that's a good point. So what's happening right now is that we saw in March the Metro Planning Commission approved the latest proposal from the developer. Tonight, we have this as a bill on public hearing at the Metro Council meeting. So what that means is the Metro Council could take this up, and because it's a bill on public hearing, that would mean that anyone of the public could come and make comments on this. However, I mean, when we have situations like this, especially last week, we did just have a over 6-hour meeting with Metro Council talking about the Titans Stadium. There is a chance that this could be pulled off of the public hearing, bills off of public hearing, pull it off and decide this at a different meeting. But as of right now, in the agenda, this is listed as a bill on public hearing, so people might be able to go down there tonight and give their input on what they want to see happen at the Belle Meade Plaza. What we do know is that not only are people concerned about it for different reasons. One of the big reasons that we keep seeing is the traffic reason. And NDOT had done a study of this area. They said that they're giving it a failing grade when it comes to congestion at the intersection of Whitebridge Pike and Harding Pike. And if you know this area well, you know that that is the corner of the Belle Meade Plaza. So anywhere that someone's going to be driving out of here is those two roads.
And there's a lot of things over there. Obviously, you see the Kroger in the video there, restaurants, a lot of retail stores. What was the other concern here? The height of the apartments? Can you go into that?
Yeah, so some people don't want to see high-rises go into the Belle Meade area. As you know, it is a historic neighborhood of Nashville, and you don't see any really tall buildings in Belle Meade, so the fact that this could potentially change that.
The landscape.
It could change the landscape of Belle Meade. But you also have to think of where this is coming from. So we're coming from West Nashville into Belle Meade, so it kind of breaks off that neighborhood. So some of the people think that it should be built there because they need more services that could potentially be offered at the plaza there. One of the things, I stopped in a Starbucks this morning, and the Starbucks workers said, every time, well, not even just every time that we're out there reporting on this, but basically every single day people come in and say, are you guys about to close? Are you closing soon?
Oh, they're really, yeah.
Because they just don't have enough information on when something might happen. Now, if Metro Council were to move forward with the bill and pass something like this, I read in the bill that the developers could start moving immediately on this. I don't know about their plans as far as when they would just start bringing in excavators and knocking things down.
Right.
I know that it's going to have to happen in phases. So
do we have an estimated timeline if it were to go through? Not yet.
That's what we would need to find out as well.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're just now joining us, Ryan Breslin with us right now talking about the new Belle Meade Plaza. The City Council's meeting on this tonight, 6:30. Yeah, let's just go back over this. I mean, when did this first come out? Early this year, right? When the talks of this was?
It was actually...
Or last year.
Yeah, towards the end of last year was when we first started hearing that a developer was looking into being able to reconstruct or redevelop, I guess I should say, the Belle Meade Plaza. So, like I mentioned, there would be high-rise apartments, there would be a hotel, there would be different shopping areas, There would be green space. And for the amount of area, I believe it's 100 acres of space. So definitely a big area that could change from kind of what is a traditional strip mall.
And you're seeing
right
this
now.
more and more really everywhere outside of Nashville, in Nashville, of course, of these new mixed-use developments that have all these things, these amenities of shopping centers, restaurants, and that live and work and play kind of environment.
Right. And because, you know, obviously there's always new need for apartments here in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you see Midtown in the last 3 years, the number of apartments that have been going up and the ones that are opening now in the Gulch that are just being finished.
Yeah.
So you have to think about the different areas that people are looking to develop in, and it makes sense to maybe put something in West Nashville going in towards Belle Meade and this space, which, you know, has been around for a while. It's a little bit older.
Right,
You can
right.
tell when you're looking at it.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons that I'm sure that developers are looking into it right now.
To upgrade it.
But this also, you know, one of the things that we did find is that there currently are 3 developments right in the same area that would bring about 1,000 new apartment units to that area. So Nashville's always adding
Oh, yeah.
more space to live.
This is only one of many, I'm sure, of top conversations we'll have like this over the years here in Nashville with it growing so rapidly. I think, you know, if you're new to Nashville and maybe you pass by this plaza, this has, again, been around for decades. You have Starbucks there, you have Kroger. I think there was a Hallmark there at one point.
There is a card store.
Yeah, that's still there. Well-traveled area. A lot of people. Smoothie King also over there. Several units.
And it's interesting too to point out, we're looking at this drone footage of it from Drone 4, and you see the Electronic Express on the right side. Just a year or two ago, that was an Office Depot. So
that was
right. So obviously, nothing's going to be torn down immediately because there's still businesses that are willing to be in these spaces right now. One of the things that I should mention is when we were talking about the NDOT study. So the NDOT study had found that basically congestion, they gave it a failure or a failing grade when it comes to congestion at the intersection of White Bridge Pike and Harding Pike. They also said that they are willing to do some things to try and help this. Right. So we're talking about new traffic lights, new sidewalks, new bike lanes.
Yeah, because there's a lot of pedestrians in that area as well that are constantly walking back and forth.
But then you think about how big this, I mean, it's basically a 4-lane road across. So people are still concerned about what traffic would mean, you know, even if you're adding new bike lanes or sidewalks, what it would mean to get in and out of this development.
Right. Yeah, so I guess more to come tomorrow. Again, that meeting tonight is at 6:30, Metro Council meeting about this. I'm sure a lot of comments from so many people, whether you're for or against this new development. Well, thank you for joining us, Ryan.
Yeah,
really
it's a bill on public hearings, and there's a number of different bills on public hearing tonight.
Yeah.
So it's just going to depend on what they are willing to take up and how much time they have.
They're going to allow for this. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ryan. All right. We'll have more for you later on today at our midday shows at 11 and noon. Thanks for joining us.